Hello and welcome back to Whitney Alex Works recap of The Bachelorette Season 20, Episode 2 and 3, Week 2 and 3, where Charity gets to know her remaining men more but begins to make some major cuts to the contestants as she truly begins her journey to find love. Before we begin, please like and subscribe here for more recap videos just like this one. Alright, let's get started. The remaining 19 men move into the Bachelor Mansion as everyone wants a chance to pursue Charity and get to know her better. And right away, Jesse Palmer greets the men and lets them know that this week there is one one-on-one date and two group dates. Of course, everyone wants the first one-on-one date with Charity, but it can only go to one man, and that man is Aaron B. Charity comes to the mansion to grab her date, and the two head out to drive the highways of Southern California in style. Charity and Aaron B begin to connect when they bond over the fact that they both grew up in a military family and how they both like old school music. As they begin to get to know each other better, Charity is bringing Aaron B to the top of the Hollywood sign as they celebrate the 100th anniversary of the iconic landmark. They pop champagne and continue to talk about their family and how they both want to be in a long and stable relationship. Charity seems really into Aaron B as they share some kisses, adding to their strong night one connection. When they get up to the Hollywood sign, they get access to the letters, and Aaron B reveals that his lucky coin has been double-sided this whole time. But even without the lucky coin deciding if they can kiss more, Aaron B has made a big impression on Charity as she is over the moon about this early connection and is hopeful for the beginning of her journey. We switch to the nighttime portion of the one-on-one date where Charity and Aaron B get even more time to get to know each other. They sit down in a beautiful interior where they continue to open up about each other's family. Aaron B also reveals to Charity that he has struggled in previous relationships with communication and admits that in his last relationship he did not put in the work, but then says that he strives to do better as he goes to therapy now. Charity, a family and child therapist, is happy to hear that Aaron B is putting in the work to do better. They share more kisses and Charity has one more surprise for Aaron B. It's a classic romance music / slow dance scene where one of Charity's favorite singers, Lauren Elena, is performing. Charity and Aaron B dance with each other until Charity stops to offer Aaron B a rose. He of course accepts as they continue to dance and kiss some more. Charity gets emotional in her confessional as she had such a great date and she is hopeful for what's to come. The next date is the first group date of the season. 12 men are invited on it, with each man having an 8% chance of securing the group date rose. There is suspicion with so many men invited that there is going to be a competition date where two teams play for more time with Charity, and they are not wrong. The 12 men head to Venice Beach to participate in a game of dodgeball where, of course, the losing team will have to go home while the winning team gets to go to the after party. The teams are split between pink Speedos and green Speedos, and it's best out of 5. With much drama, the two teams are soon tied 2-2, and eventually it's the pink team that ends up winning. So the 6 men on the green team head home, but before that, Charity gets to name the MVP of the game, which ends up going to Adrian on the green team. So Adrian gets a special invite to the after party. So the after party has a 7-1 ratio, with the winning team contestants and Adrian each having a 14% chance of securing the first group date rose. With the pink team winning, Brayden, the first impression rose receiver, is apparently a little bothered that Adrian got invited to the after party. Brayden cites that Caleb B, the pro wrestler, should have won the MVP. Well, of course, this pisses Adrian off and the two go back and forth for a second. Charity, meanwhile, catches up with her first impression rose receiver Brayden as they reaffirm that they do like each other, and Brayden tells Charity that he is crushing on her. They end up kissing and furthering their connection. We also see Charity furthering her connection with John, a data scientist, and he kisses her, adding to their night one connection. Meanwhile, more friction is seen between Adrian and Brayden as these two are quickly becoming rivals. We soon see Charity talking with Adrian and getting to know him better. Adrian lets Charity know that he has a daughter, but then quickly switches to telling Charity that many of the men are treating this opportunity as spring break. Charity doesn't like to hear this, and soon she addresses the group and challenges the men on their sincerity and whether or not they are there for her. But even with the sudden mood change, Charity happily gives her first group date rose to John, securing him another week. The second group date has a 6-to-1 ratio, with each man having a 16% chance of securing the rose. The group heads to downtown Los Angeles, where former Bachelorette season 19, Gabby and Rachel, are hosting the date. The goal of this group date is to break the longest kiss in Bachelor Nation, and each contestant has a chance to answer questions about romance or a story about a certain situation. And soon, Joey, the tennis pro, seals the scene as he has seemingly intense chemistry with Charity. All of a sudden, Joey wins the competition and he gets to break the longest kiss record. They begin kissing while the other 5 men look on in disbelief. And well, after a while, 4 minutes and 25 seconds, Charity and Joey finally stop making out. So there is a big twist here as Joey suddenly gets invited to a one-on-one date while the other 5 men have to return to the mansion. After Joey heads off on his impromptu one-on-one date, the other 5 men report to the other men about what just happened. The consensus is that the men are extremely disappointed, and when they hear what happened, especially the romance part, it's Brayden who suddenly gets upset and starts to question if he should stay. Brayden does a full 180 and starts to threaten in his confessional that he might send himself home. Maybe Charity's brother Nehemiah's concern about Brayden night 1 was legit. We then switch to Joey, the tennis pro, and Charity spending some more time together, where after more kissing, Joey opens up about his family and how he comes from divorced parents, and shares that his father came out as gay and soon after his parents got divorced. But despite the fracture of his family, Joey says that his parents were still able to support Joey as he grew up. Joey tells Charity that he has a close relationship with his father, and Charity is touched that Joey was vulnerable and opened up about his life. And soon, Charity offers Joey the rose, and of course he says yes. They kiss some more, and Charity admits that she is confident in what she shares with Joey. So with all the dates completed for week 2, Jesse Palmer shows up and announces that there will not be a cocktail party, but instead there will be a BBQ party instead. Charity shows up in orange and continues to connect with the 19 remaining men. We soon get a surprising connection as Doughton, an integrative medicine specialist, opens up to Charity about how his family immigrated to the U.S. from Nigeria and shows her his resident card from when he was a child. Charity is touched, and suddenly Doughton and Charity are sharing their first kiss together. Meanwhile, Brayden is losing it as he is still threatening to go home if he doesn't hear what he wants to hear from Charity. Well, when he talks to Charity, he lets her know he was upset that she sent the other 5 guys back to the mansion during group date number 2, and Charity is confused but says that her decisions were not malicious. Soon we see drama brewing as Adrian talks to Charity again and apologizes about bringing up the spring break comment, but then tells Charity about how Brayden reacted after the second group date and how Brayden even called her classless. Of course, this doesn't sit well with Charity, and she is rightly confused as to who to truly believe as she is hearing 2 different things. With the drama between Brayden and Adrian heating up, it's time for the second rose ceremony. With Aaron B., John, and Joey all safe, Charity calls out the following men in order, securing them another week. First called is Doughton, then Tanner, next is Caleb B., Warwick, Michael, Sean, Xavier, Aaron S., James, Adrian, and the last rose goes to Brayden. 14 men remain. Men sent home week 2 were both Caleb A. and Caleb K., John Henry, Josh, the Harvard grad student, and Spencer. Week 3 begins when Charity comes into the mansion and apologizes for ending the barbecue party early, but she has a surprise for everyone. The 14 remaining men are headed to a new location, and that is Oceanside, California, south of Los Angeles. But Charity has another surprise. She is about to go on a one-on-one date, and she invites Brayden onto it, hoping that she can understand his intentions better, and addresses what she says as some possible red flags. While Brayden and Charity take off to go driving in the same red car used in week 2, she drives him to a helicopter where they take a scenic flight toward Oceanside. The other 13 men, however, have to take a bus where they sit in traffic, while Brayden and Charity head toward the region of San Diego, where Brayden says he is from. They fly towards the MLB team, the San Diego Padres Stadium, Petco Park. Soon they land on the field, and the two of them have the entire baseball park to themselves, while them and the mascot named the Friar, who shows up and gives them Padre jerseys. Charity and Brayden are very happy and comfortable with each other, but despite the playfulness and excitable romance, Charity does admit she is concerned about whether or not Brayden is truly serious about this process, because he did admit that he was ready to go home last week. But even though there is some inner turmoil going on with Charity, these two share a lot of kisses and romantic moments. By the time they sit down on the field, Brayden lets Charity know that he is still crushing on her, but admits that he is weary of a possible engagement so soon. Charity, of course, is alarmed, considering this is the entire point of the show, to get engaged at the end, so she is struggling with her feelings and concerns about her first impression rose receiver. Eventually, these two change into something more formal, but they are still at the baseball park, and they sit down to have more serious conversations. Brayden then explains that he is concerned about Charity dating multiple men, so of course Charity is just concerned that Brayden might not be the right fit for this show, considering the format. But despite doubts from both sides, Brayden wants to try and continue this journey, knowing the emotional toll. He even writes a sweet note on a baseball and gifts it to her. Charity is touched, and the two of them share more kisses, and in the end, Charity gives Brayden the rose, securing him another week. The next date for week 3 is a huge group date where 12 men are invited, with each man having an 8% chance of securing the rose. The group date is Barbie movie themed, as Charity says she is looking for her kin. Bachelorette number 12, JoJo, and her final pick, Jordan, are hosting the date, as the men invited have the task of writing a love song to Cyndi Lauper's 1983's hit, Girls Just Wanna Have Fun. The men also have to dress up in kin-themed looks, with poor John having the birthday suit one. And suddenly it's performance time, as many of the men do their best to try and make a great impression on Charity, and many of the men have awful singing voices, but suddenly Caleb belts out a tune that has everyone shocked that Caleb can actually sing. But despite everyone's attempts, it's Sean who steals the scene and woos Charity, and Sean swoops in and even wins the competition as the best kin. And his prize is that the two have more time together and even share a kiss on the boardwalk. With Sean having extra time with Charity, the other 11 men are pissed off, and when Sean comes back in singing flamboyantly, the men give him a hard time. Charity then comes in and addresses the group and is hopeful for a good night, but Sean asks to take her away, and this makes the men even more pissed, as the age-old problem is a lack of time on this show. We see more time with John and Charity, but it seems these two are just still at the attraction level but share more kisses. Then we see Charity having an intimate conversation with Dotun, where Dotun compliments Charity and calls her his ideal woman. This makes Charity emotional and tearful, as they both confirm that there is something between them. They then share intimate kisses and further their connection, and at the end of the date, Charity gives the rose to Dotun, securing him another week. The next date is a one-on-one date with Warwick, a 27-year-old construction manager, and Charity is excited as she doesn't know much about Warwick because apparently he is pretty quiet. The two head to Belmont Park, an amusement park in San Diego, where the two have the entire place to themselves at night. They ride the carousel, bumper cars, and even go on a roller coaster. But during the date, Charity is having a hard time truly connecting with Warwick, citing his quietness and chalking it up to maybe he is just nervous. And while Charity is becoming disappointed that she has to scoop her own ice cream, Warwick confesses that amusement parks make him tired. And this one-on-one date quickly derails as Charity tries one more time to have Warwick open up, but he says that his weakness is communication. And well, Charity has had enough, so she lets Warwick know that she is not giving him a rose. 13 men remain. With all the dates in the books this week, the focus switches again to Brayden, who shares with some others, which is not wise, about his doubts about getting engaged. This prompts Aaron B to warn Charity about what Brayden has been saying, and when it's time for the cocktail party, we see Charity connecting with Joey again, and these two share a kiss and reaffirm their connection. Xavier, who was seen knitting on the bus ride to Oceanside, gives Charity his creation, and Charity is rightfully charmed, and they share a kiss. And soon, Aaron B sits down with Charity and lets her know his concerns about Brayden, and he says that he is only telling her this out of concern for her, as Brayden has been vocal in the house about his doubts about getting engaged at the end of the journey. And this information from Aaron B makes Charity frustrated as she admits she feels sick. And soon after, Aaron B lets Brayden know what just happened, and this of course pisses Brayden off. But soon, Charity, extremely pissed off, pulls Brayden aside to confront him about what is going on. Brayden then has a talk about his feelings and talks his way through it, saying that everything Aaron B has said, he has said to her face. And despite Charity feeling like she might want to take the rose away from Brayden, she says she is still conflicted. And with the cocktail party confronting more drama, men lose out on time, and suddenly it's time for the third rose ceremony. With Brayden and Dotun seemingly safe, Charity calls out the men in order, securing them a rose. She calls Aaron B first, then Caleb, Xavier, Joey, Michael, John, Sean, and the last rose goes to Tanner. 10 men remain. Week 3 exits were Adrian, James, and Aaron S. Thank you for watching Whitney Alex Works recap of The Bachelorette Season 20, Episodes 2 and 3, Week 2 and 3. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe here for more videos in the future. See you soon for the next episode.